post a job opening for a youth pastor. Your requirements are a Master of Divinity preferred, 3 years experience, a heart for students. Your salary, $32,000 plus benefits. And you get 12 applications, 2 are qualified, and both decline your offer, and you're frustrated because you feel like they're entitled, right? Let's talk about that today here on the Healthy Church Staff Podcast. My name's Todd Rhoades. I'm your host, one of the co-founders also over at chemistrystaffing.com. That's my day job. Okay, let's start here. And we talked about this on Monday of this week. We're going to talk about it a little bit again today because I see it happening all the time in our hiring at churches. The average seminary degree right now costs $60,000 to $80,000. It takes 3 years. That's 3 years, usually of no income or maybe some part-time side income, plus undergrad debt that they're already taking into their seminary career. We're talking 6 figures a lot of times easily of debt. And then you offer them what a shift manager at Target makes. And you wonder why they're not jumping at the opportunity. But it gets worse. You're not just losing candidates, you're losing future leaders. Because these smart, capable people, these people that have prepared for ministry, these people that are sometimes really smart, really sharp, as I said, they're capable, they've been called, and they've been prepping for ministry. They've been prepping to work at a church just like yours. But they're capable because they're also doing the math. They see seasoned pastors struggling financially at age 50. So they choose maybe business or a nonprofit or tech or literally anything else, but working at a church. We see this all the time. The number of candidates that we come across that have seminary degrees, MDivs, doctors of theology, and they're not working in the church. Why? Because, man, when reality hits the road, they've got debt that they've got to pay off, and they can't do it. Maybe exaggerating a little bit, but they can't do it at $35,000 a year. They will never, ever pay off their debt. The people that you most want in ministry, honestly, are the ones smart enough to avoid it right now. So I know your heart is right. You want qualified leaders. You know what your budget is. It is what it is. We've talked about that yesterday on the podcast. But somehow, somewhere along the way, we've, in many cases, created an impossible equation. The reality check really needs to take place. And what does that reality check look like, Todd? Are you ready? Are you sitting down? Because this might sting a little bit. Okay? Here's the reality check that as you hire, your church actually needs. Number 1, stop requiring degrees that you aren't able to fund. Okay? If you want an MDiv, you really do need to pay MDiv prices. If you can't pay MDiv prices, hire for character and coach up those skills. Okay? Potential over pedigree, always. Potential over pedigree. Create apprenticeship pathways instead of degree requirements. Maybe you partner with other churches to fund internships that can actually pay. Your congregation has no idea what a seminary degree costs. They think it's like getting like a teaching certificate or something. And when you explain the real numbers, even to the people on your search committee, a lot of times they're shocked because they had no idea. Most would rather fund the right person than require the wrong degree. But they need you to lead that conversation. Here's the bottom line for today. You can't demand Lexus qualifications and offer Honda compensation. Eventually, you'll end up driving all by yourself. This week, I want you to take a look at every job description that you've posted in the past 2 years and ask yourself, if I were carrying the debt load that we're requiring, would I take this job? And if the answer is no, you got to change the requirements or change the pay. Don't change the person. Your church deserves great leaders, and great leaders deserve honest compensation. So you need to make the math work, and the ministry will follow. I realize I might have got myself in a little bit of trouble here today, and I'd love to hear if you're like, Todd, you're off your rocker. I'd love to hear it. podcast@chemistrystaffing.com. Maybe you don't think I'm off my rocker. Maybe you think I'm onto something, but you have no idea how to deal with this in your next hire. I'd love to have that conversation with you. I or somebody on my team would definitely be able to help you sort through this compensation thing. I know I've told the story before. I was on the phone not too long ago with a guy that told him he was going to hire a youth pastor, and hopefully he's not listening to me. Yeah, I told him, I said, hey, the days of hiring a $35,000 youth pastor are over. And he's kind of nodding a little bit. And about 10 minutes later, I asked him, I said, so what's your budget for this role? And he said $35,000. So I'm telling you, the days of hiring a $35,000 youth pastor or worship pastor full-time with benefits or no benefits, that ship has sailed. And if you find somebody that's crazy, and might I say this, stupid enough to take that role, it's probably not going to be a long-term role, because 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months in, that math is not going to work if they can't pay their bills. All right, went off on a tangent there at the end. Sorry about that. You get crotchety old Todd today. But if there's any way I can help you lead better in your church or have a healthier staff, please reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. podcast@chemistrystaffing.com. All right, that's it for today. Hope you'll join me again tomorrow. Happy July 1st, 2026, if you're listening on July 1st, 2026. Have a great day. Hope you join me right back here again tomorrow.